Can Bruno and Kamala Khan uncover the true source of Ms. Marvel's power and defeat the Shocker before he conquers all of Jersey City? Well, let's find out together, shall we, in the pages of Ms. Marvel issue number 34 and 35. Alrighty then, so picking up from where the last issue left off, Kamala's best friend Bruno thinks he may finally have cracked the case on where her amazing abilities come from. Turns out the reason she's able to alter her mass is because she is quite literally stealing particles from her past and future self. Why we even get to see some of these potential futures for Ms. Marvel, one wherein she becomes president from the new Wolverine book, one where she grows old and bitter to join the Exiles like in the Exiles book, and even a couple of other ones where she becomes the hero of Karachi alongside Red Dagger, and another one where she seemingly marries Bruno, who is in a wheelchair. Now over with Ms. Marvel, she's still dealing with the Shocker. It seems that Schultz has managed to MacGyver together some sort of doomsday device built from garbage. Understandably, this thing is unstable and incredibly dangerous, as the Shocker himself says, "Meh, I'm not really one for science, I'm not really that smart, I can barely work my actual shock gauntlets, but I built this just fine, didn't I?" By all rights, Ms. Marvel should have been able to ring this guy's bell a long time ago, but unfortunately she can't keep control of her powers long enough to make sure the Shocker stays down for the count. And when next she loses control, she's taken to some sort of strange temporal pocket dimension. It's not all bad though, she ends up running into Singularity from the A-Force book. Singularity totally recognizes Ms. Marvel, after all they fought together in the Secret Wars. Unfortunately, Kamala doesn't remember Singularity, which makes the whole thing a little bit awkward. It's a good thing the mysterious blue woman is here to guide Kamala around, because if you get lost in the temporal zone, there's no telling when or if you'll ever make it back in one piece. Now Bruno rushes to find Kamala to share with her the revelation about how her powers work. Unfortunately, his new vibranium exoskeleton ends up giving out on him. This whole Bruno must face his limitations thing actually becomes a major ongoing theme of this story. It's made even funnier by the fact that his little helper is a hologram AI of Charles Xavier, who pretty much tells him, hey, there's no shame in accepting the things you can't do, you should live well even if living well looks different from other people, and plus, hey, I made riding around in a wheelchair look cool, mine hovered. Bruno manages to show up in just enough time to try and tank a blast from the Shocker's gauntlet, and that's where issue number 34 ends. Now, as issue 35 starts to save Bruno from getting killed, Kamala decides to make a strategic retreat back to the temporal pocket dimension. It's here Bruno actually professes his love for Kamala, thinking that, hey, there's no time like the present, and also I saw a possible future where we're together and happy beyond words. The two table that discussion for a little bit and decide to talk shop about Kamala's powers, figuring that maybe it wasn't Bruno's research that caused Ms. Marvel to lose her mojo, but it's whatever dumb thing Shocker put together. If Ms. Marvel can keep Schultz busy long enough, then Bruno can sneak inside his hideout and dismantle whatever it is he put together. Only here's the crazy part, after watching people jump in and out of different dimensions, the Shocker is starting to get a little interested himself, saying, you know, that back in the old days he wouldn't care about these kinds of things, but the whole point of moving to Jersey is to rebirth himself as a brand new type of villain who has higher aspirations. Our hero and villain both end up tumbling into the temporal vortex once again, where they're met by Singularity, who more or less tells them, you guys cannot keep doing this over and over again, it's not good for you, it's not good for the space-time continuum. But Shocker won't be dissuaded. He's certain that whatever this temporal pocket dimension is, it's his keys to fame, fortune, and a brand new set of powers, because, well, that's just kind of how things work in comic books, right? Bruno, with the help of his Xavier AI, is able to riddle out that Shocker basically lucked his way into creating some sort of Einstein-Rosen bridge, which unfortunately means it can't be shut off because it generates its own power. The only way to stop it is to, well, essentially unmake it. A fair amount of Star Trekian techno babble later, and Bruno manages to close the portal, save Ms. Marvel, and Shocker gets himself dumped back in Brooklyn to get arrested by Spider-Man. As the comic ends, the two walk off into the sunset, their friendship and possibly more being rescued this issue. So that was Ms. Marvel issues number 34 and 35, everybody, and overall I thought this was a really nice little focus piece on Bruno as a character, and a nice little exploration of his ever-evolving relationship with Ms. Marvel. It was super cool to see G. Willow Wilson start incorporating possible future continuities from other books. I also got a good laugh as Shocker the Dangerous Idiot. It's been a very long time since he's gotten to be the main foe of a series, and I love the idea of him trying to get one over on a literal child. Ultimately, just a fun, good-natured read from start to finish. I would give this one a very strong 8 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again. I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and if you did, why not take a closer look at some of these other videos I have available from the channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you're in a supportive mood, why not check out my Patreon page? Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. I would really appreciate it, and with that, I will be sure to be back again next time with even more great comic content that smacks of greatness. Bye-bye, everyone.